Well, here we are, a very old temple. Believe it or not, part of this area is 11th century. But the area is, well, I tell you, it's beyond human comprehension when you think about the smells. Chicken and its chicks. But the smell here is, oh, it's incredible. Here there's a food market outside the temple, and I simply can't sort of say to you how it is to say, but hygiene. You can see the bananas are almost completely rotten. Garbage everywhere. And the smell and the wrench of vileness. But I'm now going into the temple. And I see the Buddha. And this temple is one of the temples that were used as target practice by the Khmer Rouge. And as we go in, my mouth is killing me. To say this is poor is really is an understatement. This isn't poor. This is beyond being poor. And believe it or not, here it rained when they were trying to dry the rice. So they're sweeping up the rice here in amongst the rubbish to actually use this rice. Here is a young lady sweeping the rice. The water from the market going through. And this rice, believe it or not, will be used for human consumption. This is not for animals. They simply dry it, but when the rain comes down suddenly, the water rushes out from the markets and pours into this rice. This will soon go to be dried, and then it will end up, believe it or not, in a bag of rice, probably exported to the West. Here is a modern temple here, and some young people, and rice. More and more rice. A beautiful tree. Another temple with the pigeons. Many pigeons. Here, one of their old boats that they use on the river in the old days to catch fish. Very pretty. Woo. Anyway, I'm going to go now down to the old temple. Behind every one of these constructions, it is just filth, pure filth. This is a beautiful old building. And here am I now, going in this past this modern temple, to one of the old temples. This is the one that was, according to the tuk-tuk driver, this was one of the temples used as target practice when it was the period, unfortunately, of the Khmer Rouge. So we go into one of the temples. I don't know what these temples are made out of, whether it's just carved concrete or what it is, but in amongst here is just bottles, cans and rubbish. And I go up through, but the wrench of the market behind me is, it's intense. In here, it's very beautiful, and the echo of my voice is quite intense. And then we go out the other side, and we're going to walk down to what is the 11th century temple, which is now almost destroyed. As we go down the steps, there is no clearing of rubbish. Literally lays where it falls. Quite shocking. I've been to temples, different parts of the world. This is my first time into Cambodia. And it is very difficult for me to understand. I'm not purposely taking you to the rubbish, but just to get you to understand that you have to come here. I'm sorry, but you have to come here. I go through this archway now onto something which is, as they say it was a beautiful temple before such time as the Khmer Rouge decided, but it was something to fire their rockets at. This is incredible. Just piles of stone. But I can smell, as I go up, incense, which dampens the smell from the market. Beautiful blocks of stone. Children playing at the top of this temple. Many of the beautiful carved stones still lay here. Beautiful carving. And just piles upon piles of displaced rocks. And don't forget that much of Cambodia still has minefields. Still clearing to this day minefields across the country. And still every year many people are being blown to pieces. Children just running in between. But no tourists. Only young people from the town. Here there are no tourists. Look how beautiful this was. Again, my heart is beating faster and faster as I just cannot believe what humans create so beautifully and yet destroy. Here there are two beautiful people dressed up for a photo shoot. Beautiful people. And look, an 11th century temple destroyed almost completely. Can you imagine being a person that orders it to be used as target practice? Literally, turn your tank and fire. It's simply surreal to be here. It really is. I think about the fire in Notre Dame in France and the fact that straight away hundreds of millions sponsored from around the world to rebuild Notre Dame. And here, will they ever rebuild this important 11th century temple, or will it just remain a pile of stones so that we can remember the destruction? Here, beautiful stone with demons. Well, this is my end of my tour of this beautiful place. Almost. I'm just going to walk up and simply walk into this temple, which is being held up by timber, and you can just imagine how extremely beautiful this was at one time. And here inside there is a shrine, and you can look up into the tower of this temple. And these huge rocks are simply held up by a small piece of timber. If the timber was not there, this whole facade would come crashing down. Well, there we are. This beautiful place this beautiful, beautiful country. So here, in amongst the ruins of this beautiful 11th century tower, is the new generation. New people, a gorgeous, beautiful man and a beautiful woman, that are here soon to get married and to bring on the new generation of Cambodia, and hopefully rebuild this beautiful temple with many children.